Worms are something that we tend to stay away from despite their benefits to nature. The good news is that the worms that we often see in the gardens are harmless. But the bad news is there are worms out there that are 1 meter long and weigh 1 kilogram. Curious what they look like? Welcome to today's takeaway!
Number 1. Giant Gippsland Earthworm. No, this is not a snake. You got it wrong. In fact, this is a Gippsland earthworm living in southeastern Australia. A mature individual of the Australian giant earthworm reaches the length of 2.5 to 3 meters, with a body thickness of 2 to 3 centimeters and a weight of about 700 grams. They often live 0.9 to 1.5 meters deep underground, so we rarely encounter these worms, as they rarely crawl to the surface. One worm can dig 500 to 700 grams of soil per day. Their movement through the underground caverns can make a sound that even people walking on the ground can hear. In each mating season, the Gippsland earthworm lays only one egg, shaped like a brown pea. Earthworm eggs take about a year to hatch, and the baby worm takes 5 years to grow to a maximum length. According to researchers, a Gippsland earthworm can live up to 20 years. Despite its large size, these earthworms are very vulnerable. Gippsland earthworms are listed as vulnerable species in the Red List of the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Number 2. Coffers worm. Researchers discovered a new species of giant shipworm in the shallow bay in the Philippines. This worm is about 1.5 meters long and is pulled out of a hard shell, like a seashell. After some preliminary research, experts concluded that the outer shell of this strange creature dates back to the 18th century. However, scientists had never known the inside of their body, and all scientists and biologists were surprised as the creature they thought was extinct a long time ago seems to be still intact. Upon luring the shipworm off the shell, everyone was astonished to learn that it has a massive body. Previously, they thought shipworms only live inside tree trunks and branches and feed on bacteria in wood. It now turns out that this cover species live in mud, in an environment full of hydrogen sulfide. They absorb nutrients from the mud thanks to the symbiotic bacteria in their gills. The bacteria decompose the hydrogen sulfide of the mud and produce organic carbon, therefore providing food for the worms themselves. Coffers is so dependent on bacteria that many of its internal digestive organs have been greatly dissipated by absorbing so little food. For scientists, this is definitely a rare specimen because there may be only one living coffers worm that can be found in the world. Number 3. Pteridonavales, the naval shipworm. You must have goosebumps looking at this sticky thing moving inside a wood branch. This thing, named Pteridonavales, or the naval shipworm, lives mainly in large trunks and feeds on wood for food. Originating from the northeast Atlantic, they have spread and are now present in many parts of the world. The body of Pteridonavales is mostly small, about 2 centimeters long, and looks milky white. But some individuals can measure up to 60 centimeters long and up to 1 centimeter in diameter. Some of them are light brown, so they can easily blend in the tree trunks themselves. The tail has 2 tubes. The big one absorbs water and organisms into water, and the small one discharges feces. So these tubes are also called siphons. While living in tree trunks, the naval shipworms produce liquid that softens the wood. Each of them can dig tunnels inside the tree trunk in 16 weeks. It takes 32 weeks for an oak tree with a 30 meters diameter trunk to be deformed, and a year for the tree to be completely gone. This is how destructive naval shipworms can be to the wood. The scariest and nastiest thing about this kind of worm is that their body extends based on how far they eat into the wood. That's not all. Pteridonavales gives birth to about 50,000 eggs, The eggs float in the sea and then cling to the sides of wooden ships and boats, which begin their lifetime to destroy wood. However, many people believe that due to leaving the stem, Dorado has a high nutritional value. It is even considered a specialty to some locals. According to these locals, Dorado naveles can be eaten after their heads and tails are removed. However, I doubt that you would dare to consume a bowl of navel shipworm yourself. I might even throw up just thinking of it. Number 4. Giant sea worm. Giants of the sea are not only sharks or whales, but also a type of colossal sea worm, with a length of about 18 meters and a diameter as big as a shark. Giant sea worm is considered the rarest and weirdest creature in the ocean, named Purosum. Purosum are big, white, blue, even light pink, often dwell in warm tropical waters. It looks giant, but in fact it is made of thousands of individuals known as zooids. Zooids are very small and have a transparent body. The density in the shell is more than that in the inside. The middle part of the body is almost nearly hollow. Each zooid has its own tasks, such as self-defense, reproduction, eating. They rely on each other for the whole body to live. Zooids can be separated from the population, but when they cluster, these things can really terrify humans and other sea creatures. Biologists found that one end of the sea worm Purosum opens its mouth to let in seawater into the body, from which they filter for plankton, while the other end pushes water out. But Purosums do not mind if humans or other large beings are sucked in. It is therefore advised that people stay away from Purosums if we ever get to see them. Number 5. Yellow-banded Sicilian. With a snake-like body, they have no scales and are smooth like worms, but have eyes and mouth like snakes. Surely many people would struggle to categorize these things. Would you say this is a worm or a snake? In fact, this rare species belongs to the Caecilian family, similar to a frog. They are only found in some regions in Vietnam and China. Their eyes are 2 black dots without eyelashes. They have slightly flattened and small heads and visible jaws. Its back is dark brown and the belly has a small yellow strip stretching from the mouth to the tail. On each side of the body there is a yellow strip running from the angle of the jaw to the base of the tail. They usually live in places where the altitude can be up to 900 to 1000 meters and crawl 20 to 30 centimeters underground, near lakes or under large rocks near the streams. Their food is earthworms and other insects. After laying eggs near the humid places, female worm frogs stay to give best moisture and temperature for the eggs to hatch. This rare species is becoming rarer as the soil quality is degrading. This unique amphibian species was listed in Vietnam's Red Book. Most of these giant worms are harmless to humans, but they are still somehow not pleasant to look at, as we don't often get to see such big worms in everyday life. However, don't forget that they are an essential part of nature and contribute to the fertility of soil.
And that's it for today's takeaway. What do you think? Which one wowed you the most? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share our video to support our next product. Thanks for watching and see you next time.